Oh, well, I take my hat off to Chavez Sr. He's a legend in the sport of boxing. He's one of the guys that opened up the door for myself.
Just showed up and let his balls hang and committed to it and just let his hands go. But even at his best, he didn't let his hands go a whole lot. But if he did, he could win this fight.
Is that a motivation for you to knock him out so that he says, I don't want to do this anymore, so you could be the one to say you got Jake Paul out of fighting?
Yes. So that's, I'm still thinking that I'm better than Jake Paul.
Floyd Mayweather has shared his thoughts on the upcoming Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fight, calling Julio a legend. However, Floyd also emphasized that Julio is much older now and no longer in his prime. As for Jake Paul, Mayweather still refuses to view him as a legitimate boxer, continuing to label him a YouTuber trying to play fighter. His comments showed respect for Julio's legacy, but made it clear he doubts Jake's boxing credibility. Asterisk.
Oh, well, I take my hat off to Chavez Sr. He's a legend in the sport of boxing. He's one of the guys that opened up the door for myself. But, of course, I'm still in tip-top condition, and he's a lot older now. Even when we was younger, that would have been a great matchup. But you just you never know. I heard that he posted us and talked about us doing a fight, but I'll be in a no-win situation if I did that.
Boxing has always thrived on what-if matchups between generations, and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.'s confident claimed that he would have beaten Floyd Mayweather in his prime isn't just bold, it reflects the pride of a fighter raised in a dynasty of champions. Chavez Jr. believes that with the right timing and age advantage, he would have had the upper hand in a bout with Floyd. He acknowledges Mayweather's perfect record, but sees himself as the more aggressive and naturally gifted fighter during his best years. This belief isn't his alone. Several respected voices in the boxing world are standing behind him.
So I'm here with Julio Cesar Chavez, and I have to ask the question, who would win in their prime? Julio Cesar Chavez versus Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Punto final, en su punto prime. Creo que hubiera sido una pelea difícil, complicada. Yo creo que en 140 libras, 135 libras, definitivamente le hubiera ganado yo. Le hubiera ganado, ¿por qué? Porque ese era mi peso. Yo nunca pude marcar 147 libras. Peleé por el campeonato, pero no era mi peso, ¿me entiendes? Creo que en 135, 140 le hubiera ganado a Mayweather. Acuérdate que yo peleé con su tío y su tío fue el que lo enseñó, así que pues yo creo que yo le hubiera ganado.
Trainer Robert Garcia and others have pointed to Chavez Jr.'s experience, size, and boxing intelligence as reasons he holds a serious edge over Jake Paul. Unlike the influencers or part-time fighters Jake has previously faced, Julio has endured real wars inside the ring. He's battled through blood, pain, and pressure in ways Jake never has. Experts argue that this matchup won't require fancy strategies if Julio arrives in shape and focused. His core fundamentals should be more than enough.
I love Chavez.
I love that dude. He's cool as fuck. I love that dude.
Okay, if he wins, what does it say?
Nothing.
Chavez is gonna win.
What does that say if he beats Jake Paul?
Not much, just a good win. A lot of millions of dollars, and then maybe do a rematch, which is badass. Make a lot of money.
Jake Paul has carefully crafted his boxing identity with smart matchmaking, choosing opponents like retired MMA fighters or first-timers. But now, the narrative shifts. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is no longer a stepping stone. He's a challenge. He's a fighter with legitimate professional experience and championship pedigree. If Julio trains seriously and enters with full focus, Jake could find himself in unfamiliar territory, possibly outmatched for the very first time.
I like it. He was a little listless. He can get listless. But he's big. He's schooled in boxing.
It just does nothing for me.
Yeah. It is a challenge, though. It's a legit challenge, right? He's probably
he got his ass whooped. He got his ass whooped by Anderson Silva. Jake's already beat Anderson Silva, so it's like
if he shows up for the fight, if he's really training, he's fairly tough. How old is he now?
39.
Oh wow.
He's 40.
Oh wow.
I don't think that one's gonna get big numbers. It's just like, all right, it's not
actually-
a good next step. It's almost like he's going backwards.
But
now.
wouldn't you say it's a good challenge for him?
No.
He's going to beat him?
Yes. No, it's not a good challenge because he already got his ass whooped by Anderson. You know, it doesn't do much. I guess it keeps Jake active, and it's a boxer.
Yeah.
But the boxing, you're still gonna get validation from the boxing community, which is what he wants. It keeps him busy, I guess. So that's good.
Oscar De La Hoya has watched countless fighters rise and fall, and his take on this fight carries serious weight. He's praised Julio's current focus and discipline in training. According to De La Hoya, this isn't about a retired boxer grabbing a quick paycheck, it's about a warrior getting ready for battle. He believes the story being told is that Jake will finally be pushed beyond his comfort zone. And for De La Hoya, this isn't just business, it's personal.
The expectations,
A lot of
and
pressure,
then, the pressure, and he got involved with drugs and this and that, and he seems like he's doing better and he's doing good, and I've seen him train lately. I've talked to the father, and he says, look, if my son shows up to the ring the way I've seen him in the last few months, I think he said like last 6-7 months, he goes, yeah, he's gonna knock out Jake Paul.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, I'm sure a lot of people would love to watch that and see that. So, don't miss the fight.
Yeah.
June 28th. It's going to be crazy. No, it is. I mean, because Jake Paul actually has, it's not that he has something to prove, but he actually can prove something here. Chavez Jr. went the distance with Canelo, right? In Canelo's prime. And so imagine if Jake Paul knocks out Chavez Jr., then what?
Julio steps into the ring with the calm confidence of someone who knows his worth. He doesn't view Jake Paul as a real threat, just another name trying to ride boxing's legacy. His belief in victory isn't cocky, it's based on years of elite training, sparring with champions, and carrying the Chavez name. With multiple world title fights behind him, Julio doesn't see this as a test but as a certainty. As the hype builds, he stands firm in that mindset.
This is your first fight in 2.5 years.
Yeah.
When do you want to come back? Who do you want to fight?
Oh man, I don't care, Jake Paul?
You want Jake Paul next?
Yes, why not?
If he wins tonight?
Yes, I want.
You think you could beat him?
I'm better fighter than these opponents, so that's for sure.
Jeff Mayweather brings a more cautious tone to the discussion. While he respects Julio's history and achievements, he points out the importance of timing. Julio hasn't been an active fighter for years, and age eventually slows everyone down. From Jeff's perspective, Jake's team knows exactly what they're doing, targeting a former champion who's possibly past his peak. He sees this as a calculated move that could pay off big for Jake.
Canelo back down and all that kind of stuff, but is this, another name that just, like I said, gives the detractors more feel for their fighter? Does this help Jake at all?
I don't think it's really gonna help him that much. I mean, it will in the sense that he's fought a legitimate fighter that actually was a professional fighter and a world champion. But to get him after a 5-year layoff and him being inactive is almost just like fighting Mike Tyson.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the same thing. It's like an older guy past his prime who hasn't fought in a long time. I guess he doesn't have an MMA career behind him, so maybe that's a good thing, but it's all the same thing that people have always complained about.
But I think this is a fight that Jake can win.
Jake Paul isn't hiding his ambitions. He wants more than attention. He wants to be respected as a legitimate boxer. By facing well-known names like Julio, even if they're no longer in their prime, Jake is building a story of growth. Fight is another step in what he sees as a journey toward becoming a real contender. In his eyes, he's not just a YouTuber anymore. He's a future champion in the making.
Got a former champion sitting over here to the left with a big name. Does this signal to the boxing world that you're looking to get back on that championship path, the pursuit of a world title?
Yeah, look, I always said it. I'm going to fight really tough people, and I'm going to fight big money fights. This is prize fighting. And so I'm giving the fans what they want with every single fight, taking on tougher opponents, and this is just that.
I can't help but notice It's a cruiserweight fight. The co-main event is a cruiserweight world title. If you look just to your right, there are 2 belts sitting there on the stage. Is it at all in your mind, if you beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., that a matchup with that man, Zurdo Ramirez, might not be far behind?
Yeah, 100%, man. This is what I came here to do, is become world champion and to create one of the greatest sports stories the world has ever seen. Going from Disney Channel to YouTube to world champion in 6 to 7 years, that's the most relatable and best sports story that any kid can get behind, and that's what I'm here to do, is inspire the next generation and do what no one's ever done before in the world's hardest sport, which is boxing.
You faced some hostile environments in the past, the Nate Diaz fight being one of them, but this might be the most hostile you've walked into. Southern California, 2 Mexicans on the card. What do you think about fighting in this type of atmosphere?
Man, the Mexicans love me, bro. Like, I'm stepping into my home environment. They love me more than they love this guy. You know, Mexico doesn't even claim him, so that's just the way it is. And I love my Mexican fans, and they've always been rocking with me since day one. And I'm gonna show him who the real Mexican warrior is.
Despite all his efforts, Jake Paul remains one of boxing's most polarizing figures. Critics argue that his career is more about image than substance carefully selected opponents. Viral marketing and flashover skill, they see the Julio fight as more smoke and mirrors, another attempt to maintain the illusion of progress. But no matter the criticism, the numbers speak for themselves. Jake continues to attract huge audiences, whether people tune in to support him or to watch him fail. This bout has the drama, legacy, and real knockout potential to be a major event and for many. It's the moment they hope Jake finally gets exposed.
My final What's That Smell goes to Jake friggin' Paul. Yes, as he's gearing up for his upcoming fight against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., a guy that can't win a fight, hasn't won a fight in the last 10 years. The guy's been an absolute joke. Well, Jake comes out and says, hey, listen, I'm getting in the ring with a champion at one point. I'm getting in the ring with a guy that was on top of the world at one point. All Jake Paul is selling is at one point, because Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. hasn't won in more than 10 years of those points. What are you trying to sell? Here's what I think he's trying to sell. He's trying to sell a fight that means nothing. Jake Paul, he's great on the HBO special thing, the documentary that he has, The Pauls. He's great at everything he touches when it comes to marketing. Stop trying to sell something that doesn't exist. You will never get into a ring with a real boxer, because if you do, you're going to get your ass whipped.
Julio's reaction to Jake's trash talk was simple and sharp. Dismissing Jake's threats as foolish, he made it clear that such words don't shake someone like him. For Julio, respect matters, and dragging his father into the drama crossed a line. While Jake's tactics might work on less experienced fighters, they only fueled Julio's focus.
What do you make of the trash talk he's been saying about you, that he feels you're going to quit, that he's going to turn you into a meme, that he's going to have your dad put his hands in his face? What do you make of all that talk from him?
Stupid people stuck, you know, like everybody can say whatever you want, you know, like he's nobody, man. He's like a popular social media guy and train hard. So if like Juan Manuel Marquez say something about myself, maybe I put attention on Marquez or Tyson or guys like that. But Jake Paul, man, he's living with this chat, you know, like talk trash in media is his best, you know. He's pound for pound number one in this.